Hey, what's up? Good morning, and welcome to Morning Cup of Joe with Crystal Rain. Thank you for joining me. Ooh, last night was fun, right? I guess I was a little tired. And let's do this. Thank you for joining me. There is a poll in the chat. I'm trying to see what gaming system people think is the best for live streaming. So definitely drop a message in the chat, and we are live now. So I have a little person helping me out this morning. I'm sure you can see her. She's like being, here, let's put this down. She's playing a little something for me right now. So yeah, last night was interesting. I fell asleep during the stream, and never say what you won't do, right? So I put in, I saw someone, either pretending to be asleep or who was actually asleep. And I was like, wow, that's something, I don't think I'll be able to do. And never say never because you tend to bring certain things into existence, right? When it comes to these things. So, um, yeah. So we are discussing some amazing things today. Well, maybe they're not so amazing to people. They're kind of like what's going on and what's being talked about, and um, just basically what's going on, uh, you know, in the country today, and just things that are on people's minds. And it was funny because I saw on Netflix, boys. Okay, thank you. I'm gonna go get it. I saw on Netflix, um, Boys in the Hood. And I was like, wow, Boys in the Hood. I haven't watched that in such a long time. So I decided to, watch it last night. I said that'll be our movie that we stream and discuss and talk about and uh, debate on a little bit, maybe. And I kind of want to talk about that today. And I want to talk about, relevant, not relevant, and then comparing what the director was trying to do back then and get his message across into, what we're doing and what we're dealing with today. Um, I don't think we're too far from that. And that's, I don't know, a good thing, a bad thing, a scary thing. Can we say that? Just keeping mama entertained right now. And did anyone see that? That's what I want to know. I want to know if anybody saw. I was like, did anybody stop by? 'Cause I didn't see anybody drop anything in the chat. Like, what's going on right now? I was like, what are we watching right now? Is she asleep? Yes. I guess, tired. It was like my mind was telling me yes, but my body was telling me no. So, we are doing pancakes. Come join me for pancakes. And I'm kind of doing pancakes the easy way this morning. I wish you guys could hear this. I got my headset in. She's made instruments out of the glasses that I have up here. And again, don't forget to check out the poll that we have going on in the chat. And some of the things I want to talk about that we're going to be doing coming up on the show. Besides having interviews and things like that, we're going to I'll be doing some giveaways. I forgot I still have some things to give away. I'm kind of waiting for the new year to come out with some new things and some new products. And I want her to break the glasses. She's hitting them with a little maraca, little tiny maraca. Like that, they had a doctor's appointment. So and she's reminding me of the pancakes. The pancakes. She wants to sit on my lap. 1 second. Now you're going to fall. Okay, come here. Okay. Oh. You know what I'm regretting, or well, you know what I'm most likely putting off doing because it rained last night. And I have to still pick up some leaves in the backyard. And wow. Really? So that's going to be a fun. Picking up wet leaves. Great.
It is so wet.
Yeah, they're wet?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow. I'll have to grab my coffee in a minute. I'm really looking forward to Monday's show. Monday, we're going to be fully doing vision boards together. So get some materials. Like if you have some old magazines or some new magazines and just like a board or just something to like just cut the pictures out with. You can always get the board and things later. So our Monday manifestations, we do manifestations, meditations, and relaxation on Monday. And we're doing vision board. I talked about the vision board and I kind of showed you mine, and there's some pictures that I still have up there because I'm still working on those things. Anything that I took off is changed or I've already accomplished. Yay. So I'm glad that I took off quite a bit of things. And I'll be adding some new things to work on. And so come check out that process. Now I have a whole process when I do my vision boards. I think a lot of times most people are just cutting pictures out and cutting pictures out and just putting stuff up and not really thinking about it. And so if your vision boards aren't working, that's most likely why. I mean, there's a little bit more to it than cutting some pictures out, putting them up. Here, we're going to see and check something out to see if this works. Have the volume turned down on the phone, though, when I do it. Oops. I have my little helper here with me right now, who's probably being very entertaining right now. Don't put that in your eye. I want you choking. Take that out, please. You will choke. There's an event that I'm supposed to have today, but as far as when last I checked, is that I don't get notifications from it. I don't get a notification. There was only one person who, signed up. So I was going to push it back until January because I think a lot of people will be working on these things, to start the new year off right in January. Hopefully that person doesn't mind. It's just one person. So if they want something else or private, we can always just get together and it doesn't have to be like that. Let me see here. I think I would have to have somebody do this since I'm live and on here right now. Hello, thank you, and welcome to Morning Cup of Joe. Thank you for joining me. If you are lurking, don't forget to give me an exclamation point lurk in the chat. Much appreciated. Thank you. So this is one of my little helpers. She's helping me out this morning. She wants her pancakes. Get that out your mouth. Thank you. She saw me every time she sees me sitting here doing something like this. She's like, she brings up a chair. It's like, I help. I help, mama. And she's messing with the phone. Okay. So like I said, we're going to be talking about some awesome things today. First thing I'm going to hint on and talk about is, right after this break, we're going to come back is Boys in the Hood. And I want to talk, ask people, do you think it's relevant? Do you think it's not relevant? Do you think, when that movie came out, they were trying to accomplish some things. There was lots of interviewing, there was lots of buzz, and there really seemed like there was going to be change. It really seemed like there was going to be a different perspective on some things, and it just didn't happen. And somebody brought this up, you know, not too long ago, like just a couple of days ago, about the whole Black Lives Matter movement and people joining in, and all of a sudden being all about Black lives, and yes, Black lives are in danger. So, but mind you, this isn't new. Especially not to us. Okay, I'm gonna get the pancakes. Okay, so we're gonna continue this discussion. I'm gonna be right back. Probably see another little helper coming around soon. Let me go ahead and get these girls their pancakes. So they're like pancakes, pancakes, pancakes. So morning cup of Joe. So there's a couple of things I do on here because there's many sides to Crystal Rain. So there's Crystal, then there's Crystal Rain, and then there's Emerald Vixen. And that's another thing we're going to talk about this morning. Is just people being their authentic selves and just being happy with what they are doing, how they're doing it, and not really giving or about what other people think. You know what I'm saying? Fill in the blanks for yourselves. So I'm going to go ahead and get these girls their pancakes, and I'm going to be right back. Oh, girls. And we are back. Again, thank you for joining me this morning. Don't forget to drop me a line in the chat, whether it's just a hello to let me know that you're here. If you are lurking, don't forget to do a exclamation point lurk. Just that way you can get a hello from me. And sorry about that. But I did have to be right back. Get the girls their pancakes. And you guys know what? Guess what? I am out of coffee creamer. Hey, love. How are you doing? Love. Hey, Miss Key. Can you do me a favor? There's something I want to see if it works and what it does. Hey, what's up? How are you? We speak English good. We speaks English good. You know what? I love I love the fact that he named the show that. And you want to know why? Because we do speak English good. And that's because oh, don't worry about that. I don't know how to fix that. It keeps saying that people are spamming when they're not spamming. I'll figure it out. I even fixed it and took down certain moderator things, and it's still doing it. It's just my stuff is glitchy. Did anybody see me sleeping? Why are you snapping? Oh, oh, maybe she put something in there, and that's what. So I don't know why they were deleted. I don't even understand. Oh, you know what? If you have a link, so sorry. If you have a link, let me put it on my whiteboard. So Miss Key, if there's a link that you want to drop, oh, you use an emoji, not oh, okay. I use emojis and it never does that to me. But anyway, I can put you in. If there's a link or anything you ever want to share, I can put it on my whiteboard so that you can share it. It was just purple hearts. I share purple hearts all the time and I don't get spammed. But anyway, it recently happened, and the reason why I brought up Boys in the Hood, and it kind of took me by surprise when I saw it on Netflix last night. And yo, did anybody see me sleeping? Did any of you all see me sleeping? I see. Okay. Anybody see me fall asleep? I didn't fall asleep just once when I watched the video back. And yeah, I'm keeping it up. As far as I'm concerned, everything happens and it happens for a reason. And I always tell people, be careful what they speak about. And I remember I was talking about people sleeping for like their show. I fell asleep, girl. I fell asleep during the movie. Yes, ma'am. I was tired. So like I said, my mind was telling me yes, but my body was telling me no. Okay. So it was like, I couldn't do the dance. I said, look, we're just going to chill and watch Boys in the Hood when I saw it. And so, yeah, y'all should check that video out. It's a good video. I'm cute. I'm cute when I'm asleep. And no snoring. I barely moved, except for when I fell asleep the first time. There was some good cleavage shot there. But it was all within the realms of Twitch, what I normally do. But I fell asleep. People probably thought that was fake, like I was just falling asleep like that. No, it's the weirdest angle. And so I woke up. I didn't even realize I had fell asleep at that point. Like, I don't know what was going on. And then I fell asleep for real after I got the blanket. I was like, oh, let's get all cozy. Let's get a little blanket. And normally I would have the blanket halfway down, not like all the way up like that. And so, yeah, I don't know. It was like maybe 5 minutes in or so. I'm out. That's 5 hours of me sleeping. Well, probably, no, 3.5 hours of me sleeping. But I'm glad people find it peaceful. It's getting some views. I guess people do find things like that very relaxing. But anyway, I brought up Boys in the Hood because, and then when I see that name, we get that too. I don't know if people realize that that's just not in the Spanish community about, the way people talk or how they talk, how they sound, and how they, what they say, whatever they're saying. What is it? Okay, just put the plate down. I'll get you some more in a minute. And so, and just to, it was during one of my community chats, they were talking about the Kroger, the old one that's by us on Greenfield up here. And one of the people, and it got me, and I just had to start saying something in the chat. And it was mainly white people and I guess people of Jewish descent because they didn't like something that had happened in the store, which was they had put, mind you, it's so ridiculous, they put a divider. But you don't, kosher food stays separate. Most people know this. I worked in a kosher restaurant at one point in New York City. I guess there's many tales about Crystal Rain, and maybe through the course of the Twitchdom, my Twitchdom, we'll get to all of those stories told by me and how I want to tell them. And so they were talking about that, how they had put this pork sausage divided, mind you, next to And they were making such a big deal about it. And I was like, well, there's a divider. Then one guy was like, well, the juice. I was like, no, because I bought those packs of sausages before. There's no juice in those sausages. Nothing's going to leak out. They made a conscious thing. This is obviously a merchandising thing and not the store. They're the workers. They just do what they're told, right? And I know, and I speak to some of them because I go to the store on a regular basis. I've gotten to know a lot of these people. They speak, they say hello to my children. They're very sweet, very nice. And the guys, my meat guys, yeah, they are so good to me. If I need something or them go check in the back, they'll go check in the back for me. Oh, yeah, that's what I said. Where's the juice? That's what I was like, show me some juice. There's no juice coming out of those packages. It was just, making sure it's separate and just the connotations of I don't think they realized the way the conversation looked. But when you sat back and just read it, it was like, really? These are my neighbors? Oh, man. Then one guy said, I tried to speak English to the people at that store. Excuse me? Because they're all English speaking. They're all black. Majority of the workers at that store is black, and they hire black and special needs. So me having a black special needs daughter chimed in on that conversation because I wasn't having it. I had to let them know, and they chilled on that conversation. That conversation stopped after I chimed in. And when he said, I try to speak English to the people at that store. And I was like, they all speak English very well. And I had to let these people know. So I said, well, they're children that work there. No, the men in the meat department are full-grown men. Grown men who speak English very well and are very nice. And that's what they do. They like being the butchers, and that's their job. And I love my guy who does my fish, my stuffed salmon. He knows I love it so much. He goes, here, I'm going to give you a little extra scoop just to take. I love that guy. And like I said, real sweet people. So when they were being disrespected that way, and we get that too. I try to speak English. When I'm trying to speak English, so when I saw Boys in the Hood and with what's going on, I had to watch it. I haven't watched it in such a long time. And I guess my question to people would be, is that movie still relevant? And just think about the year it came out. If it's still relevant and we're still going through this of being shown that we're humans, showing that we're humans, black and brown folk, what does that mean? And, people keep saying we're making progress, but I'm failing to see the progress, especially when I see conversations like that, especially when people at my daughter's school district are very comfortable with saying things like, I'm not comfortable with these difficult conversations, but they are necessary. That's scary. Are we moving forwards? Are we moving backwards? Can anybody help me out with it? Forwards, backwards, and yes, you did see me take a knife and stir that coffee. And Crystal Rain is out of creamer. This might not be a good morning. I don't like it when I run out of creamer. So those are the thoughts that are running through my mind when I saw that. They were trying to create so much awareness with that movie, with what was going on, in the hood, especially, South Central LA at the time, and in many other places, because, Detroit had some instances. We had our things backwards. Yeah, I think we are going backwards. I think people think they're moving forward by putting on a t-shirt. I think people think they're moving forward by, I don't know, like another one. So, these questions that you get asked during the meeting sometimes, and they're like icebreaker questions. And me being me, and most, they don't know me, but I've been reading literature, and when I say literature, like fine literature since I was a kid. I was an early reader. I was an advanced reader. I was already at the college level before junior high. Well, I was at the college level of reading, let's say like second, third grade-ish, and maybe before, because, they don't really start looking at it till then. But I was reading like my mom's psychology books as kids. I was reading things that interested me like that. I messed up my whole sexy vibe. Sorry, but we'll get back to my favorite strappies come next week, like during the week in the evening. But Sunday morning cup of Joe is conversations. It's, what it's meant to be. People who normally would not watch my show can, come on and feel very comfortable and see a whole different side to Crystal Rain and Irmo Vixen. So, so the icebreaker question was, and I was trying to do two things at once because I was also one of the moderators, okay? So I was trying to get the breakout rooms to show up, and I realized it wasn't on. So I was really focusing on that and not on this question. I thought they would make me last, first of all. And so the question was, and hey, if you guys drop it in the chat if you have it. So the question was, if there was a historical person in the past that you could meet, who would it be? And, I drew a blank because, like I said, I was doing two things at once. Like, sometimes you guys see me on my phone doing things, and then trying to talk to you, and there's a pause, and I don't realize that I'm paused. So it was like that. So I had like this a big brain thing. So I wasn't thinking about that. And I'm not going to say typical people. And I guess because of who I am and being a part of this committee, what I was supposedly, possibly, what I was supposed to say, me being a black woman. So what I ended up saying was Edgar Allan Poe. Because I've been on the realms of poetry. I recently read some of his work for one of the past shows. So he was just on my mind. And why would that not be a good person for me to meet, being a person who likes poetry and like literature? And again, you, our favorite people are always made to seem a certain way. And if meeting that person ever was to let me know what they were really like, awesome. So I just said Edgar Allan Poe. And then this one woman goes, when it eventually got to her turn, and she goes, well, Martin Luther King. What's the word I'm looking for? And then she happens to say, she just didn't stop with that Martin Luther King. She goes, well, who wouldn't want to meet him? And so I'm going, okay, well, cliche, because that's usually what most people go to. Malcolm, Martin, John, Malcolm, Martin, Kennedy, any of one of those. But me, if I was to really think about it, maybe I would want to meet Jackie Kennedy. I would rather talk to the women because, as we know, the women, they're put in the background. We're put to make like look like we're in the background and not doing any work. I would have loved to know what her conversations were like because she was very soft spoken. She was very, there's this mystery to me about her. There's so much about her husband, but there's this mystery. And so it was like they were expecting me to say someone black. And it's like I have other people that I would like to meet. I do other stuff. Come on. I read other things besides certain things. Or, for me, Coretta. I would rather sit and have a conversation with Coretta. Why? A lot of that has to deal with what I know about the Black Panthers. A lot of those women wrote those speeches. Women were very big. I would want to meet Shakur. And I can't really say, I guess she's not in the past. She's over there chilling in Cuba. I want to go chill with her in Cuba. That's what I want to do. I have things I want to do now for, it's like, yeah, the people of the past are awesome, but let me talk to some of the people who are still around today. And one of my favorite poets actually is, and I have to learn this poem. I sort of got, I'm going to learn it and really perform it. When I say perform it, I want to perform it with drums, and I have to get I want to make sure I get the dialect. And you're meeting General Storm just right now. Yeah, there's General Storm. This is one of my other little helpers. Oh, get too close. We don't put cats and things on the counters. I don't care. Go. There you go. Not here. Not today. I'm sorry. Yes, and I hate that I'm expected to live up to certain stereotypes. And when I don't, people don't know what to do. When I prove them different, or I prove them wrong. And so I was just kind of like, I made a face. I don't even care. I made a face on the thing like, okay, that's typical. Of course. Of course you want to meet him. There's so much on Martin Luther King. It's like, okay, great. I could pick up so many things on him. But I know sitting down and having a actual personal conversation is totally different. But there's also so many videotaped conversations of him just having real moments. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying. But one of my favorite poets is actually isn't even an American poet. And I found by way of Halloween, just looking up the poetry that is used for Day of the Dead, Cheyenne Rain. She's now Raine, and I'm loving her. I'm like, ooh, I have to get some more on Cheyenne Rain. She seems awesome. She's, I think, from the Lakota, and it's probably also considered Mexican. Those are things I want to find out more about, like Cheyenne Rain and, what's going on. That's the stuff. Anyway, let me get my favorite poet up here real quick. So I'm going to get the name right. Oh, I know what it is. I'm going to put the American because it may not pop up. Let me see if it pops up. Oh, okay. Thank you, Addie. Thank you. Let me see if I can get her to come up here. Come on. You're making me distracted, and I'm trying to figure something out here. Oh, I know it because I'm sending it the wrong. Negra soy. Yes. So actually, I want to make sure I had her name right, the full name. So Victoria Santa Cruz. So actually, Victoria Santa Cruz is one of my favorite poets, and I said I really want to learn her Negra 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 Soy poem, um, and I would have to get it right. I don't want to ever do this and have it wrong, and maybe I'll pull that up on poetry when we do poetry on Thursdays. Figuring all these little how to create these little boxes and get it to work. I think this may be one of those things where I know I can add this just from my device, but I'll play around with it, make sure it works first. I've been having trouble getting things to connect when I'm trying to do like another media outlet or, and I think the best way is the way a friend said to go about it is get a capture card and just have it on a separate device because trying to do it on the same device, it seems to want to take over my camera. And I'm like, no, I'm supposed to be able to stream from like a website. That's what this says, and it's supposed to work, and it hasn't been working. But anyway, Victoria Santa Cruz. And she talks about the dispersed, and it's funny because it is maddening. I love it. Addie, thank you. I told you go sit down. I'm gonna have to take a break and get them some more pancakes in a minute because oh no, I won't be raking the leaves. Guess what it's doing now again in Michigan? Oh my goodness. So at least I don't have to worry about the leaves today. One thing off the to-do list. But I love this poem and it resonates. And I think people probably would not think being a Black American that this poem would resonate with us, but it does. When I hear about these other movements and people, they try to keep things separate and stuff like that, and I'm like, and this poem came about when I was watching, I believe, a documentary on what's going on in Cuba with wearing your natural hair, and I don't know if it might not just be in Cuba, maybe South America, period, with just accepting that part of themselves of, not all of us have straight hair. Like, the thing to have is like straight hair so you could be like real Spanish or real Cuban or real whatever. And, the saying, if you had any of this in you, you're considered dirty. And there's, I can't remember what the word for it is at the time right now. But, it wasn't good to be seen with, you're with a fro. And that's something that they recently was like a recent movement. Our movement's kind of been going on for some time here in America with, just having, locks being considered a professional hairstyle. And I know because I fought against it. I wore weaves and things like that for years until I got tired of being followed in people's stores. But anyway, she talks about the dispersed, and we're part of that dispersed. I don't think people realize that. And when she talks about, she's born. This is where I was born. I was born here in, here, let me get yeah, she's Afro-Peruvian. So she was, even though where she was born and where her peoples lived, and it was, brought about by slavery and a couple of other things, but also people were migrating back then too, before some of these things. And she talks about like, you see me only as a Black person, and even though this is where I live, this is my language, this is, I can't say Black, but African, because we're the only ones that really coined that term, like Black here in America. When others come here, they're like Lupita. I'll take Lupita. She didn't know she belonged to like the Black race. Like, she's from Africa, and there she is African, and she is from wherever she is an African, like whether it be Mozambique, she would be considered a person who was from like Mozambique. It wouldn't be based on their complexion because they're all the same complexion. But here in America, we had to have those things. They needed to be differentiated to where no, these are the Black people, these are the white people, and things like that. The divide, and we know why that divide was. So she goes, I didn't know I belonged. Like, she like when someone called her Black, she was just like, what do you like? No, I'm African. She's like, what are you talking about? So now it's like that's really like a here thing that people don't realize. Like if I was to refer to someone, I remember he took such an offense. I'm not sure if he was from Russia or from, but somewhere in Europe. But I said, well, you're white. And he was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. He goes, no, I was like Caucasian. He doesn't even like the term Caucasian because that's, again, a here term. And it refers to like the white people and Caucasian people here. And, he didn't want to be associated or referred to as that. Because as far as he's concerned, I did not participate in slavery and I am not a racist. So that's how that person took that statement. He goes like, because of knowing of like what Caucasian came from, like the Caucasus people from the Caucasus Mountains and things of that sort. So he was just like, no, I'm not one of those people. That's how he took that term. So I think it's amazing. But anyway, I love this poem. and it's by Victoria Santa Cruz. And we should it goes, I can't even, "Tinea siete años." Anyway, it's good. I love it. And I said when I learned this poem, and then maybe I'll figure out how to get the tech to work so you can actually hear her reading it. But this is the poem that kind of made her nationally known, Victoria Santa Cruz. And I love it when they have littles and they're like, "Oh, we have a new queen. We have a new queen." A lot of people teach this poem to like their little girls and things like that. And there's videos out there of little girls doing this poem, and it's empowering poem. It really is. And so it's fabulous. So they always have like a small video clip of where they've learned something. You should check it out. Negra soy, negra soy, negra soy. So awesome, perfect. So moving on back to Boys in the Hood with what they were trying to accomplish with that movie. I'm gonna have to say, it wasn't accomplished. Great movie, awesome movie, but it didn't humanize us. And I know people don't like that term. It didn't humanize us. And why didn't it humanize us? Because people saw what they thought it was like. Like that's what it is. That's what they're about, and that's the lifespan basically. Even though the director, they were trying to point out some things in regards to this. But I did like the fact it did win an award won an NAACP Image Award for Outstanding Motion Picture, and it did win an MTV Music Award for Best New Filmmaker. John Singleton. It didn't win the awards that we wanted it to win, of course, just like Straight Outta Compton. I think it did win some awards, Straight Outta Compton, but I kind of compare this to Boys in the Hood and Straight Outta Compton being very similar to each other. And again, what we're trying to accomplish out of Straight Outta Compton, what they were trying to do, what they were really trying to do, what they were really trying to be about. And, some fell to the wayside, and, you get caught up in the hype. But you can see how, again, when our narratives and our stories don't stay with us to tell, he is an awesome director, one of my favorites. And another one, director that isn't talked about for any of his works, who was really, I'm not going to say, he wasn't like the first, but he was very active, but I don't think he was ever nominated for an award. I don't know if he was. I would have to look it up. If it was, it could have been like a BET award. But John Singleton, and I had recently watched a few months back. I had watched a movie. What was this movie? It was one of his. He also starred in his movies. Oh my goodness, why am I drawing a blank? This is what happens when I draw a blank. Okay, so I'm going to be right back. So I'm going to get these girls their pancakes before they come back in here. And we're going to continue the discussion. You're going to hear a little jazz in a few minutes here. like a moderator comes in handy, right? You need somebody. Anyway, welcome back. Hopefully I didn't make too much noise because I forgot to mute the mic. But ooh, Robert Townsend. And I recently saw his Hollywood Shuffle. He made a lot of films. Robert Townsend, I think, doesn't get enough credit, or I mean, he barely gets any mentions. Usually people don't think about Robert Townsend until someone has him on their like talk show or something, you know? He came out with so many films, and I think he started before some people. He may have started right along the times when like Spike, it was like him and Spike. I'm looking at some of these like Reginald Hudlin for House Party, and just some of these ones that are just like cult classics. And you want to look up and talk more. Most people talk about Spike, they talk about The Singleton, Ava, of course, now because of what we're doing through. But there's so many black directors in Hollywood, and then Gordon Parks for like Superfly, and Melvin Van Peebles, and all these different people. But really, Robert Townsend, his Hollywood Shuffle, I mean, I love that because it speaks volumes. Because there was a certain type that they were looking for in casting, and if you didn't, it was like you couldn't be intelligent black actor and stuff like that. You had to be the job talking, hit, walking. There was a certain type that they were looking for. And that's what he talks about in his movie Hollywood Shuffle. If you haven't seen it, it is genius. I mean, he's done some genius type things. And then I look at today, with what we're coming out with, is even better. With a lot of the movies that are coming out, and like Get Out, and and Ma. I'm not sure if you saw Ma. Now that speaks volumes too, because I didn't realize the hidden message that was in behind Ma the movie. But anyway, back to the Singletons and Boys in the Hood, and relating that today to the Black Lives Matter movement. It kind of fits. And I don't, like I said, just looking at the time periods, you would think we've come further along, and I feel like we haven't. And it's like, okay, what can be done about that question? And before anyone wants to say anything else about that? She was expecting me to deliver her pancakes here. No, thank you. And if your sister wants her, she can come in here too. So, that's just what it was just funny to me, just watching those images and thinking about the images today. And now you can include black women, because before it was mainly just, speaking about black men, but with Sandra Bland and Breonna Taylor, and the other names that are out there, we're included on this list. I don't want to be stopped by a police officer. I don't have to be made to get out of my car. I want them to think that I'm being too smart or too sassy or something like that. And then, what, you need to put me in my place as a woman? No. I kind of feel a little fortunate about where I live. I would like to think something like that would not happen. But then when someone was telling me about another group, another city's cops, he goes, they have a lot of young cops, and a lot of them are hotheads. And he says he's seen them do some things that he just, as a person, he's just like, really? Get out of here. And so it's like, what? So now I have to go back to watching where we go. I still feel like we still have to watch where we go. Watch where we go, watch what we do, watch what we say. And it shouldn't even be like that. Just basic rights and basic living, living. Another thing I heard, there was, I guess, somebody who made it into Congress. It's either Congress or Senate, who mistook the newly elected, one of their newly elected officials as Breonna Taylor. Now, we all know Breonna Taylor was killed by the police. And I have to look this up because Al Sharpton was speaking on this. Because I briefly heard it, and I was like, excuse me? Let's just put here, newly elected official. And I'm not sure if that was meant to be like a mistake. I'm not sure. Like, I don't understand. Were they trying to make some type of commentary? Were they trying to say something? Were they trying to insinuate something? Because I'm sorry, but Breonna Taylor that was like widely covered on the news and on the television, right? I didn't miss something when it came to this, that topic. I know I didn't miss something. uh, so let's see here. Let's put here newly elected official mistaken. Oh, I think I pulled it up. Mistaken for. It was like, where had that person been? Yeah, it says Cori Bush says Republican colleagues mistakenly called her Breonna Taylor. They mistakenly called her. So, and Cori is elected where? So, incoming rep Cori Bush says, yeah, Republicans mistook her for Breonna Taylor. I guess maybe they look, no, have like similar features or something. So, this is Missouri's first black congresswoman. Um, so, this is out of Missouri. And the Republican colleagues I'm assuming they called her Breonna Taylor's name. Now we could run, gosh, we could say a lot about that, right? Um, that would make for a very awkward meeting for me. Ooh. Yeah, so don't forget to do the poll, guys. So if you know anything about gaming systems, I guess I should have told the gamers to stop by and take the poll. So we'll do that right now. So I know I have some gamers on the Discord. So at everyone in gamers. I forgot to let the gamers know I have that poll going on. Ah, thank you. See, I said Xbox Live too. Now you're about to have Khalees on here going crazy. Key about to go crazy if she's still on. So I said that too, and I looked it up, and I want to be sure. I want to talk to the people who are actually doing this before I put this on my Christmas list and set this all up. What came up was Xbox, the Xbox Live. That came up as number one for live streaming and how I want to set it up. Now I wonder how many cameras I have to set up, and people don't understand because they keep seeing me like one guy who's an industry professional with the whole Twitch thing and just gaming thing. He has his own entertainment company with it, e-gamers, and yeah. See, the Nintendo Switch also came up. They're number 3. Now to me, I think Nintendo Switch more for the kids. I didn't know those little things cost so much though. See, I thought Nintendo Switch for the kids. I know that's very popular. That I do know. But they also say you can stream live with it. And I was like, really? How about that, that hookup be? Because I know I would have to have hooked up. I have to have too many things hooked up. Like my Xbox, I know I can connect to my PC. And I can connect everything, then connect, the TV and everything that I would need to connect. And that may be what I have to do for screen wise. And then stream the television screen. I'll see how I can connect it all, but I know it's possible because I've seen it. It's just making it all work. So, and then keeping it connected because I would hate to have to take all that down. So, do you want more pancakes?
No.
Okay. So yeah, don't forget. So basically, what I want to hook up is so I can do to show my Just Dance in a better setting. And then I think if I have it all hooked up and the sound coming through and have it as a setup as a Just Dance station, the music will play because I hear people doing the music, or there may be something I still have to record and put on. Okay. So I want to stream it with the cam so I could be the one seen, but I think I'm going to have it recorded for the copyright purposes. Get down. Girls, come on. I'm trying to talk here. I know. Enough helpers. Go.
No, I want to stay.
No, they're trying to stay.
I want to stay.
Hold on one second. So I sent them to play. I was like, go play, go do something. Gosh, live, right? So, yes, I want to be able to set it up to where you see me, but you can see me and see the other, what's going on. But I guess I could also do that with YouTube. But again, I would have to get those people's permission because those are their videos. So that's why I want to just create my own. I'd rather just make my own actual video and then try to figure out the copyright mess like how they're able to do that. But those people are probably promoted by Just Dance or promoted by Xbox. I know there's some people on here who that's what they do. So Queen Stream, yeah, especially from last night, just 3 hours of me sleeping. That is hilarious, but it looks good. I like I say, be careful what you speak, right? So that's what I want to do. That's why some people they were like, "Why do you want to need more than one camera?" I was like, "I want to be able to switch." I saw a streamer switch, and it looked so good. I saw a couple do this where they switch their angles, where you can see behind them, and I like that. I want to set that up, and I know all I have to do is get some cameras that can run on Bluetooth, and then make it work. But like I was having trouble with the software. So NDI, that is not an easy software. And then there's the HD Cam for OBS. For some reason, maybe I need to do an update on my phone, but on my phone and on my iPad, I got it set up through the NDI web, like with no connection. So I got that set up, and seemed like it was gonna work. And I could use my phone that way or my tablet and just like, okay, switch, just hit that, and now I'm in the kitchen, right? But then the software wouldn't stay open on the phone or on the tablet. So either that means I guess I have too much stuff on my phone. I have no idea. And there's nothing out there that really helps with it. I was they're like, here, you do this, and then boom, like magic, it works. And I'm going, what happens if it's not working? Is there a video? That's the video I can make. So let me just video capture this for you. This is what happens when it's not working. Hashtag NDI, hashtag, what is it? Track, whoever makes this thing. Hashtag help. Because it won't stay open on my phone. Like I get it connected, it won't stay open and it won't pick up the camera. I just get a black screen. I get a black box. And then it won't stay as a separate camera because it wants to take over my camera. Those are the things I saw about. It keeps trying to take over my camera. And I'm like, no, let's not do that. So that's what we're talking about. So yes, gamers, if you're a gamer, please chime in on that. So right now, Xbox is winning. I have like only really one vote for PS, and that was a verbal vote for the PS PlayStation. So, okay, so getting back on topic here. Yeah, so yeah, I think that's weird that they would call her Breonna Taylor's name. A very widely public, reported on. Yep, that's what I was trying to use it for. I was trying to use the NDI for a separate device. Like I told you, I cannot keep it open. I cannot keep it open on my phone. It just wouldn't work. Could not do it. So if you're not a follower, please follow. I'll try to figure it out, but I got it. I got that to show up in Streamlabs, the NDI. I got everything else. But when I tried to connect it and use my phone, it wouldn't work, or the iPad. It's supposed to be able to use it on phone or iPad. And the camera kept closing. I would open it up, like the app on the phone, and then it would close. And then it wouldn't stream. It wouldn't show any video. I would try configuring it. And I'm not sure if this new OBS is new. Everything that they said I was supposed to be hitting and seeing and how to select it, none of that's the same. All those videos are old, I think. Or I'm paying for a Prime account here, I thought. I'm paying for the Streamlabs OBS. I'm paying for it. So I don't understand why it's not working. And again, it wouldn't stay as a separate camera. It was weird. So that's something I have to, I guess, write into them about. But it wouldn't work. And there's no directions that, as far as how my OBS is set up, no. And I'm not on free OBS. I'm on regular OBS. I'm on the one that you pay for. So I'm figuring this is Prime. You shouldn't have a problem connecting to anything, right? So, but they called the incoming Cori Bush. This is in Missouri. She is the first Black congresswoman for Missouri, and they called her Breonna Taylor's name. What do you think that means? What do you think that means? Because to me, I would take that to be, not an insult. I would take that to be like, they're calling me a dead woman's name. So let's go back. Yeah, because I heard a report. It says, okay, so let's get this one. This is the number one. This is NBC. We'll go with NBC. So incoming Rep. Cori Bush says Republicans mistook her for Breonna Taylor. It just saddens me. The people in leadership, people that we want, happening. So let's, she's speaking on it. That's, okay, of course they would, let's do one that's, okay. So Um, this is what happened. So easily beat Republican Anthony Rogers in the. So upon her historic election, she said in her speech, "This is our moment." However, are they making me go to the app? Okay, no. Well, here, let's just play this. I want to hear what was the context of it myself. Well, she's wearing her mask. On her mask, it says Breonna Taylor. But this, let's get to like where it originally happened. So that's her being asked about it and speaking about it. So, because no one said the context of it, it was just been reported that they mistook her. So it says Breonna Taylor's mother requests new prosecutor, yep, opinion correcting the misinformation about Breonna Taylor. So she was wearing a Breonna Taylor mask. So it says House Representatives begins orientation for newly elected members, and but the thing is, this name, and she's wearing a mask that says Breonna Taylor. But they know they elected Cori Bush. This is my thing. You know who beat this guy, who beat the Republican. Her name is Cori Bush. So she wore a mask with Breonna Taylor's name on it, just as representation. Some Republican lawmakers didn't know who that was. So they didn't know. So in Missouri, I guess Missouri is the only place that doesn't get the news. Because again, this was widely covered. This is a widely covered event that happened. So they didn't know Breonna Taylor was a dead woman killed by a cop. So she has on a mask that says Breonna Taylor, but they know they elected Cori Bush, who's a Democrat. Who in the heck doesn't know Breonna Taylor was murdered by a police officer? I guess Missouri is a bit behind. Like, what have they been doing? What were they doing like all this summer when George Floyd? I'm not going to Missouri ever. So it's 8 months to the day since police shot and killed Breonna Taylor in Kentucky, sparking worldwide calls for justice. And again, people are going around with signs saying, say their names. So I guess there were no protests in Missouri for justice and police reform. Following her death, thousands marched and pled. And then they mistake Congresswoman-elect Cori Bush. They didn't know who that was. And then I guess they didn't pay attention to her either for being the for being the newly elected Congresswoman in Missouri. They didn't know who she was either, I guess. I'm not sure how. I guess you have to get over your own comfortability and get out of those realms of being like, okay, I'm in a place that does not see me, hear me, or most likely will not acknowledge me. It's like, um, I guess you speak anyway. I guess I would speak anyway. I'm not sure how much they're going to listen and what they're going to take in, but damn. Um, that's amazing to me that they didn't know who that was, and they didn't know who was elected. I guess they said we don't pay attention to the Democrats over this way, so we only pay attention to the Republican names. We don't pay attention to y'all. Good luck with it. That is a terrible, terrible thing. So Xbox is winning. Xbox Live. Now, another thing I want to talk about, and we're going to talk about this really on the Tuesday relationship show. We're going to get back to some of my original format because, my follows started to get down. So I'm going to back to some of my original formats. So Tuesdays, of course, that's going to be my favorite strappy wearing day. And we're going to talk about relationships. And I'm going to pose some questions in the chat about relationships. So hopefully people tune in for that. I'm going to start advertising a little bit better as well. So like the day of when I'm going to go live, for a little bit longer. Oh, and when Khalees was on there, I meant to ask her to try something. I wonder, because when I'm on my app, on my phone, and I'm on my app, I see a little camera emoji. If I hit it, if I tap it, if I'm watching someone's live. And I wonder if that would allow me to connect to their live, like to come in on it, since I can't get the software to work right now. So I wonder if that's a way for someone to join, because there's an entrepreneur that I'm trying to have on the show. And it seems like right now the only way I'm going to have her on the show is if, she just comes over. So that is very disrespectful. I would feel disrespected. I would feel disrespected as um, a professional. I would feel disrespected if someone was to not know that I was their newly elected congresswoman. I would feel that was a little. I would have taken. I'll be honest with you. I would have taken it as an underhanded comment, um, because again, this is a person who is dead, who was killed. Let's just look at the situation. This is a person who was murdered. And then someone decides to call me their name as a black woman, first time in this position in the state of Missouri, which I'm going to say might just be maybe predominantly one color. Uh, I'm I'm gonna play it cool when I'm in front of you. I'm gonna play it confident when I'm in front of you, but I'm gonna also be watching my back. Does anybody understand what I mean? Because again, that was a widely publicized event. There was marches upon marches upon. There were people in other countries. Okay, just let me tell you, people in other countries who were protesting with us. And you're telling me you're from this state, well, not from this state, but you're from the United States. You're from, you watch the news. You're an official. You're elected officials. You're telling me you're not watching and reading the news to stay on top of what's going on? I don't believe that. I don't believe that they did not know who Breonna Taylor was. I don't believe that they did not know that this was a woman who was murdered by police in her own home. And you're going to call me, the newly elected first time black congresswoman, her name because you saw the name on my mask. There's no way. Who was elected was Cori Bush. Cori Bush, Breonna Taylor, two different names. Cori Bush is alive standing in front of you. Breonna Taylor is not here with us anymore. I have a hard time with that one because because again, being a person who's like aware, I wouldn't know how to take their comments. Like I said, I would watch my back. I would be watching my back. I'd be cool and calm. I'm going to do my job. I'm going to work with the people I need to work with because I do believe in working relationships, that you don't always need to be friends. We don't always need to have the same views. We don't always need to be the same as far as anything. But there is a mutual respect of people in, hey, we're in the same field. You may not like me. You may not like who I am. You may not like my views. You may not like my skin complexion. That's cool. But you will respect me as a person and respect me as a professional and view me as an equal. To me, they weren't viewing her as an equal at that point because they didn't know her name. They didn't know, they didn't know her name. You're not viewing me as an equal. So now, and this is one of the things I've hinted on before, especially when it comes to black women in businesses or just black people in general, especially, black women. So not only did we have to prove ourselves, and if you watch the movie, which is a great example of this, if you watch the movie, shoots, I always have like little, no, I'm thinking of The Great Debaters. The recent movie, it's not so recent. For Pete's sakes. This is what I'm thinking of, More Than One Thing, and I get my little brain, Hidden Figures. This is where, my brain goes like awry because I'm thinking of more than one thing at the same time. So if you watch the movie Hidden Figures, this is a great example of that. And again, that was back then. This is today. They didn't know this woman's name. And mind you, they didn't even talk about the women who had really helped on the project in Jump Street. When you learn about what they did and you learn about when we learned about all that stuff in school, were those women mentioned? No, all you saw and all the pictures that they always shown were what? Just of white men working at NASA. I'm not even sure if they showed a woman. If there was maybe one woman in the background was the secretary, right? If there was a woman shown on a picture. Nobody knew any of that was going on. And it was quite progressive what was going on at that time at NASA. And it's like, why would that not have been shown early on? Why would that have not have been taught? So that's where it's like the truth about the history, the truth about who's done what, the truth about the accomplishments. Because why? Because then you would have had a people, if history and everything was taught the correct way, you would have a people who, no one would have known it. Who knew? A bunch of smart women who knew math. Remember what we were taught growing up, and this is something, boys were better at math than girls. And I was across the board. And I even grew up thinking that. I was like, well, I'm not so great at math. And I wasn't the greatest at math. I was one of those people. But even if there was a girl who was good at math, she was never pushed the same way as a male. Even today, even though we have more women in politics, we still only have a camp where young men go off to learn how to work that field. I haven't heard of a camp yet for women. If there is one out there for young girls to go out and learn to be politicians, this was something that was started years, I don't know how long this goes back. It's a tradition. So, and men who want to be politicians, and this is like a camp, it's like a learning program that they go through. And I think they can go every year from whatever age that they've made this decision that where I'm going to work in politics. And they train them. Unfortunately, they train them to do what there's a documentary about this. I have to look it up. That'll be for the next time though. There's a place where they go and learn how to do what they do on that stage. And sometimes it is, a lie. Your goal is to make people believe whatever you need them to believe to get you in office. I find that amazing, but there's not a place for women. So how do women go to learn to be politicians? But yeah, women, yes, we are better processors. We're better thinkers because we're going to take our time with some things. And that's also what the movie Hidden Figures showed. It showed I love that they just didn't show them doing the work, but they showed the process of them doing this work and how they had to learn to keep up, because the black women, the ones who are calculating and were doing certain things, that we're bringing in computers. But guess what? Those men couldn't get that computer to work. But that sister got that computer to work. She was like, well, this is plugged in wrong. This is plugged in wrong. She took the time with it. She says, well, let me go get a book. She took the time with it. She already had it in her head. She already had the mind for it. It was just a new tool to her. And all she had to do was learn how to work that tool. And that's what she did. And she was the one that got that computer to work. And that's why I said it would have given more youth. It would have given a people more ownership. Again, and that's the problem. And a lot of people have a problem with me using that word, ownership. It gives you more ownership in this country when you find out about different things and different processes. Don't play with my bands. Okay, then go. Different things. It gives a people more ownership if they knew their roles in every single aspect of the way. But what was taught? No, your role. We only had one role, and that was the role of the slave, to stand by the master, do certain things. But even then, with that role, we kind of basically, as far as I'm concerned, practically engineered farming. I do, because they don't think that they could get to grow. They had learned how to fish from the Native Americans and how to grow some corn. And then when the harsh weathers came, they had a hard time surviving. So when they start traveling and trying to figure things out, they saw another group of people surviving in harsh conditions, not the same harsh conditions, surviving and thriving. How? So what we do, we went over to work those fields. As far as I'm concerned, I was like, we kind of helped with some farming, at least American farming. I'll say that aspect, American farming. And I'm not saying for all, but yeah, and you look at that whole industry, how it came about. You kind of helped produce, to do the assembly line? What was it modeled after? No. So again, when you create ownership with real stories. So that gave a little ownership to us women and to our concern, black and brown people, for their help with getting those missions accomplished. So Hidden Figures is a perfect example of, if I look at what Cori Bush and what happened to her, being seen, being heard, and then I look at Hidden Figures, I'm like, wow, it's basically the same, almost the same thing. It's like, are we supposed to know your name? So it was just so disrespectful. And then when we get to the fact of, and again, welcome to Morning Cup of Joe with Crystal Rain. There is a poll. See if I can get it to come back up. It started. It should be popping itself up going on. So please don't forget to take the poll. There's some other little things that's supposed to be popping up, but I can't get it to pop up. I think that one will. Yep, that one's working. Um, yep, there it is. It just popped up the poll. So don't forget to take the poll. So there's a couple of things like that that we're talking about today, and just what's going on, what's trending, and um, how to get this damn software to connect. So I'm gonna ask a friend. Oh, thank you. Um, Thank you. Oh, am I supposed to do when I get a follow? I'm not sure if I'm supposed to just do it for Twitch. I'm supposed to do a little something when I get follows. I'm not sure if I'll keep it for Twitch. I added a little spin. I don't know if we're gonna do it today. I feel like it's a little brand new thing. It's really for the other show. When I show off what I'm wearing and stuff like that, and I said I changed it. First, it was like a little salsa move, so we'll do that. We'll do the upper body. We'll do the upper body. Woo, follow. So that's what we're talking about. So for the Tuesday show, we're going to be talking about relationships and different things, and COVID, and how it's kind of, I'm not sure if it's stopped people. I'm not sure if it's helping some people out. I'm not sure, for me, it's like, you have to be friends with a person first. It's especially with the numbers going up, and then with the possibility of going back on lockdown, what that could do. But anyway, I'm going to post some questions in the chat. And I also want to talk about COVID and the numbers going back up. This is kind of big right now. And I don't think people are paying enough attention. They're kind of paying attention. And so let me turn that down. So with COVID going on, it's scary. I don't want it to go back on lockdown, even though it looks like we could very well go back on lockdown. And then I think about certain things with what came with lockdown. I think about, and I have to get I forgot. You guys weren't with me for the cooking show. I'm glad. This is a good thing I'm right by yes. And I know my lighting for that night wasn't too bad, but I didn't think to do this, to put a scarf above, the light, so I could have better light. Because I had this, but it was a little too far away to reach all the way to the stove. So I'm going to eat some of this morning, if you don't mind. I know I'm being a baddie and not a naughty, but this is yummy. I made this, and this has become a new favorite. I'm going to make this for... I know. See, it's going down, and it started even before the numbers. I think when the numbers started to go slowly back up, it started. And yeah, we're doing the same thing. So I have a friend that works at BJ's, and I said, girl, if you see it, just get it and I'll cash app you. and she helped me out because I was working, still kind of work from home, but she helped me out big time because there were times I couldn't leave the house because I was teaching online all day. So right now teaching is down for me, and I see that's going to be popular in the summer for me. Awesome. Kind of missing that income right now. So I was teaching like basically all day online for at least 4 days out of the week. So when I see her post like, hey, this is in stock or that's in stock, I'm like, I'm teaching right now. I can't get out. And I feel like by the time I get there, it'll be gone. So she started helping me out with, I was like, just grab it and I'll cash app you, which is awesome. So you kind of have to create these little circles like, hey, guys. And that's what was really cool. Is that a lot of people started banding together like, hey, I got this. If you do need something, I do got a little extra. Yeah. So she hooked me up because I wasn't able to get spray Lysol since March. And when she got it in, I said, just grab it. And I have spray Lysol, and that makes it a little easier with kind of, with surface cleaning, like when you're just kind of doing your basic stuff. And you don't realize how important some of these things are until you can't get it. Like when I couldn't get black beans because I like to make like my own bean and cheese things, like my own like little rice bowls and stuff like that. And I also like to put them in my black beans in my omelets. So we'll have omelet night one night. I don't know, it'll be man meal omelet. That's just be full of meat. And so I couldn't, so when I couldn't get black beans just to make some of my basic little stuff, I was like, really, black beans, y'all buying up all the beans? Like, really? And to me, that was where, and I talked about this, and maybe we'll talk about it on the Monday show as well. A lot of people don't think of these mindset things, but it was like lack mindset. Yeah, I can't find alcohol either. I can't find rubbing alcohol. I can't find just the regular germ killing, and my little bottles of hand sanitizer. I'm gonna have to just keep buying hand sanitizer over and over again. I wonder if they're doing that on purpose because people were buying the big bottles of alcohol and making their own hand sanitizer. And I've noticed certain things just aren't getting overstocked. So I would make my own with the alcohol that I had left. Now I'm out of alcohol. I do have some of the really good germ killing. I still have, I have a little left. I think I used it all actually. Of the hydrogen peroxide. Actually, my mom had some. She had bought offline, and it was the one that kills the food sources and things like that. It's really good. And so, but no, I wonder if there's a little money making going on about that right now because I used to make my own hand sanitizer. Speaking of that, so yeah, we're gonna eat some of this morning. I'm gonna heat some of this up. This is yummy. So this was made. Let me tell you, if you're thinking of quick meals to just do, and that's one of the things that since again me being single and me being a working parent, I kind of have to find that 99%. That's what I'm talking about. That's the one I'm talking about. I can't find it anywhere. I'm gonna try some of the smaller like black owned pharmacies, but I'm sure people are hitting those up in the community that know about them. So what I did was I boiled the apples. This is kind of like an apple strudel is what I'm taking it more on because it's not like really a pie crust. So I made that for the man meal dessert because I forgot to do the dessert that night. We went like 2 hours, and I was tired. So I did this for the last show, the last cooking show. And all it is the crescent rolls. You get a can of crescent rolls. This is a smaller version. So if you make a bigger version, you'll need more. And so I have no idea. I don't know what that is. Anyway, you can use caps. I think those are those things that I have to recheck again. And so I use crescent rolls. It's apples. I had some apples left over that I didn't want to go bad. And so I boiled the apples and, brown sugar. So I put a little water in there, some brown sugar. I didn't add any butter. That's the only thing. Now you think about these things afterwards. And cinnamon. And I just, soften them because I like my apples to be soft. So I cook my apples first. And then I put the bottom, like for the crescent rolls, to be like crust at the bottom. And then I put my filling in. And then I put the rest of the crescent rolls at the top to be the top crust. And this is what you got. And I put cinnamon and sugar on the bottom first. And then I put cinnamon and sugar at the top. And this is yummy. I'm going to have the kids have some for dessert. That is absolutely a yummy dish. That's become a new favorite. And it's quick. It took me I think, I was talking and interacting. So, it took me maybe 30 minutes to do this. But mind you, it was 30 minutes because I didn't have the apples pre-cut and stuff like that. That was the only reason that it took that long, seriously. So that was awesome. And it tastes so good. That's the only thing I'm missing when I thought about it. It's maybe put a little lemon in there, put some butter. That's all that needs. Yummy. So anyway, that's what we're going to get into. So with the whole COVID thing, I have no idea why they deleted 38 messages. I need help with my my little spam bot. I'm gonna be honest, as I see people do these things in other chats, and I'm like, what do I have mine set on, and why is he on time? I'm like, I have to figure out what I have my stuff set to, because every time I think I fixed it, I haven't fixed it. So I'll go back in there and look at it. I have no idea what I have it set to. I can't even tell you what I have it set to. I'm like, every time I think I fixed it or I've opened it up, I don't know what it's doing. But if there is ever a link, especially if you want a regular of mine or a friend of mine, if there's ever a link you want to share, just let me know so I can put it on my whiteboard list. So just message me. That's it in the Discord. So don't forget about the Discord. I know it's just us in here, so it's okay. So I just so that's it. And yeah, so with COVID, and it's kind of freaking me out a little bit because we're in the red in Michigan, and I'm just like, I don't think the kids are gonna ever go back to school, and I don't think that we're gonna ever really be past this because then when you talk about a plague, you have to look up the old plagues. How long did they last? Because this isn't something that's I feel like maybe they should start watching the streets here. Maybe they should start doing some major cleanings overnight or something. I don't know. I don't even think I've seen people spitting on the sidewalk or anything anymore just for trying to get this thing under control. And I'm really curious what Biden and Harris is going to do. I don't know what they're going to do because people are wearing masks. People are, trying to social distance. People are trying to do their best with it, and I don't understand. Uh, at this point, what else can be done besides everyone just stay home? I mean, like literally, everyone just stay home and them cleaning the streets. You work for 2 weeks, then you're home for 2 weeks. Work for 2 weeks, then you're home for 2 weeks. We're always in lockdown. I feel like we've never really been out of lockdown. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't feel like we've ever been really out of lockdown. I mean, you only have restaurants who had at one point their outdoor cafes open. Places like McDonald's, Burger King, you can't even go into. They're like, nope, stay outside. We have some places that that did not survive. So I don't know if they didn't get any of the grant money. So who knows what happened with that? And one guy frauded the system with his businesses. Uh, we saw people at their finest, at their best. But when it comes down to where you can't buy alcohol, you can't get, like, when I say alcohol, rubbing alcohol, or the alcohol that people use to make their sanitizing products with. When you can't do that, that's where this lack mindset comes in. And right now, I think we're running in perpetual fear mindset and perpetual lack mindset. There's not going to be enough. I need to start stocking up, especially before it snows, especially before the weather hits, especially before this, that, and the other thing happens.
That's all we're gonna need, Sissy. Or we need more. Yeah, let's take more.
So those are my thoughts on that. We've never been out of complete lockdown. What am I? Oh, that's not even a long message. Okay, I guess I have to look up where you check all the times. Yeah, figuring out Streamlabs is hilarious. So, okay. There we go. So, I don't know what they're doing. They're trying to take over the kitchen area, I think. I don't understand. It's not even a long message. I type messages longer than that. I guess I have to go in there and find that. Doesn't make sense. I don't see anything that's... No, stop. Go. Grab an apple or something. You're not making a cake or anything. You're not doing anything from there. No. Just grab some apples or something.
We already grabbed 2 apples and...
Okay, so you got apples. No, get the ice cream back. Oh, 1 second. They took the ice cream out the freezer, guys. They took the ice cream out the freezer. No, thank you. Go back and bring the ice cream back. Put the ice cream back in the freezer. The morning happenings of Crystal Rain. So that's kind of another thing I want to create with the webcams, to where, like, maybe I'm just going about my day and people can watch that and what's going on in the house. Give me the cheese.
No.
Give me the cheese. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to put some cheese in a bowl for them 1 second, guys. So that way you can still kind of see me. Here.
Oh, we also took the ranch.
No, put the ranch back. You don't need the ranch and ketchup.
We're gonna take some fries.
Yeah, they took the cheese. They're trying to talk about some fries and some things. Oops. Sorry about that. No, here. And rinse off the apples, please. Oh, also my little friend here. I totally forgot when we had more people on. Yeah, they like to eat what they like to call the string cheese, which is just shredded cheese. So let's put a little bit of it in a bowl.
I got some fries.
Okay, put those back. I'll make you guys some fries in a minute, but you're not. Those are from last night. So here's your cheese. So I'm really worried about still kind of like staying. Alex, go put that down. Then you can come back and rinse off your apples. With the whole COVID thing, it just kind of crept into my head that, like, okay, this is here to stay. Yeah, we know that. But now I'm like, okay, do I really want to go through, and this is part of the relationship show, just a little sneak preview. Do I really want to go through being single again? Go lock down. I think, like, and all I had were the kids to talk to. And I was just like, oh my God, well, at least this is an outlet. We have this. And I did start doing my lives, rinse off the apples first. Start doing my lives again. And when I decided to, okay, it's time for me to get back out there. So I was big. For a lot of people who don't know, I was, heavily involved in the poetry scene and, acting scene here in Michigan before children. And I kind of took a step back from a whole lot of that, just adulting. Like, again, we have to adult. Yay, adulting. Boo. Yay and boo, right? So just for having to adult. And so that's what I did. And so I decided, well, I'll come out with a new poetry series under Emerald Vixen, Crystal Rains, pick them up and rinse them off again. Don't use this. Don't use that. Get a paper towel to dry. under which would be Crystal Rain's alter ego, Emerald Vixen, and it's a little different type of poetry coming from me. And if you need to dry them off, get a napkin. Uh, and so I decided to start doing like virtual poetry.
Can you get me a plate for this?
No, you don't need a plate. Just get a napkin, like I said.
Can you cut up one of
I'm
them
not
for
cutting them
Sissy?
up. No, she doesn't need it cut. She's okay. She likes it whole. And then I'll start doing my interviewing because I the Brown Sugar Amplified podcast because I was going to go to a place to do the podcast, and of course everything was closed and we're on lockdown. So I just started it on YouTube. I said, well, you're going to do Brown Sugar Amplified, going to start interviewing people, you're going to start doing the poetry thing again and getting back out there because that's what you plan to do. So we're just going to do it virtually. Why not? And then fast forward. Cleese told me about this platform, which seems like you could do a lot more on, which is awesome. And really create it. So that's where a lot of the multiple cameras and things like that's coming from. And so that's what I decided to do. I decided to create during the last lockdown, and I guess that's what I'll be doing during this lockdown if we go back on it, because they are being pretty harsh. Put that back. Yeah, kids, man, they're like little. I hate to say it, almost like little rodents. I love them. I hate that someone's like, oh, she referred to kids as rodents, but no, you know what I mean. They just like get into everything. Like you turn around, like there's not an ant there, or not like a little mouse there, and then you turn around, there is a little ant there, a little mouse there. That's what I feel like kids are like sometimes. Like what people call it, they say they're always like wrangling cats. It's like trying to wrangle a bunch of kittens at the same time. Okay, she brought her pancake back. She didn't want the pancake. It's like so that's what I feel like. So I said, I really, it's just like, I wonder about that. I wonder about people's like, mental states right now. Because like my mental state just went back to like, oh my goodness, this is going to be hard. It's going to be trying. But maybe they need to do short spurts of it. Let's say we do 2 weeks. Everyone stays home. You don't go anywhere. Clean everything down. 2 weeks, go to work. Go. I already gave you everything. Go. You're fine. I'll get you something in a minute. Okay, I'll take a break. And I was just looking at that when I look at the state of COVID right now, and I was looking at my COVID app. Yeah, I do have the app. I like this app. You can do so much with it. You can report your own health, and you can also see what's going on. And I started noticing how we were going red, and so there aren't any incidents near me of anything. But it lets you know that if there is, and someone reports it, and of course you have to report it to the app. But I think it also picks up on other reports. And what it talks about COVID, and it keeps saying spread of virus in Oakland County increasing. Each positive case 1.29. So there's like one new case, I guess, on a daily. It's how they're tracking that. Spread in virus in Michigan, close to 2 cases, 1.3. So in Michigan, we're getting like 1 or 2 new cases each and every day. But it seems like it's more than that, to be honest with you. And let me see here. So Detroit public schools are online only until January. So they finally shut down DPS. DPS has been going to school, but the numbers have been growing and going crazy. So right now, Troy, another city, they shut their schools back down. Our schools have been on lockdown, and I'll tell you, in our area, I haven't seen much spread of the virus because of that. But we have a lot of people who are staying home, and a lot of people who are doing certain things. So yeah, so that's what's going on with us right now in COVID. So it says citizen summary. Detroit public schools are online until January. On Thursday, the U.S. recorded 153,496 new cases. Great. So it says yesterday, the most recent data shows the local rate of transmission is 1.26, meaning active cases are rapidly increasing. So there are 175 new cases reported. It doesn't say if that's daily or weekly, but we're getting 175 new cases. And I don't understand the reasons behind that because there are 3,273 new test results with a recent 7.30% positive rate. So that's like almost like majority of them are coming back positive. There is one new death. So we've only had new deaths. At least the death toll, people are catching it a lot sooner. Wow. So they're shutting down this week finally. Yeah, Michigan has kind of been like, I want to say they're not at the forefront. I'm not saying we're at the forefront, but we had a choice, like where our schools could have opened or they could have stayed closed. So my district, we're closed to January, and I don't even like that they're giving people hope that we're going back in January possibly. I'm just like, no, just go ahead and keep it closed. That's what you're gonna do. That's what you're gonna do. So why even bother telling people that you're gonna open? There's something going on with her sound. She must be doing something. Oh, there it is. Okay. So, with that being stated, um, yeah. I guess kids are home. And I know for couples that's not like a good thing, cuz always my thing is, well, at least couples, like, they're there together. And then I guess it's like, well, I guess still you don't even have. Yeah, the 2 weeks that, yeah. So you guys have been trying that 2 week things. Yeah, there's some of our schools that are going to do that. They're like, we're going to shut down for 2 weeks, clean everything, and then go back. And I'm just like, just keep it closed. Keep it closed. Don't even bother. I feel like that's going to be just a waste of people's time. As I said, I know for me just being me, but I had a couple. They were just like, when I just, I'll never forget during lockdown. This one parent was like, "We deserve our time." Lucky, I do live next door to a grandparent, so I ship them over there. During that time period, I shipped them over there quite a bit. She was like, "Just send them over here. Just send them over here, just to get like to get my mind set back." You just you have to make time, and it's like they want to stay up late. Then the only time is during the time when you're tired. It's either early in the morning you get to yourself, and I don't get, because I got one that wakes up at like the crack of dawn. I'm like, Jesus. I said, no, this is my time. I was trying to do like my workout time. I was like, this is my time. Go back in there, lay down until I come and get you. You're not gonna be up with me. My time. I try to do that with my kids, and as you can see, it doesn't really work out all the time. And so then there's like, you got to wait till they fall asleep. And then that time, either you need to be doing something maybe for yourselves separately, or you're tired as all get out. I don't know about you, but this stuff was tiring. Oh, yeah, because you don't want to, that age range, and I still have to be very careful, um, because, I have there's the grandparents, they're at risk. They're at risk with this. And so you don't want them to get infected. You don't want them to put their health in danger. Because that was also some friends of mine. They were like, they still had to work, and they work at the hospital. So they're like, they just kind of just stayed away. They're like, we can't risk getting her sick, and I guess they would feel guilty if they got their parents sick. So that entire time, I still think even now they're staying away from, grandparents right now, just because they're more at risk than some of the people are. And since they do work at the hospital, they're just like, we're just gonna, chill. And when you don't have that option, it's like I say, something is taken away, you don't realize how important it was. Like this whole time, because all my kids kept doing during that whole lockdown period, when you just didn't go anywhere, you just didn't gather, even if it was like 3 people. I mean, literally, it would have only been like me, my mom, and the girls, and maybe like my brother, right? But no, we stayed away. And good thing too, because my brother did come down with it, because the plants had got greatly affected. He worked at one of the big three, so he did come down with it, but he survived it. He had to be hospitalized and everything, so it was a good thing we weren't over there. So that was awesome. She didn't get it either, so maybe she's immune. I have no idea, but they just stayed away from each other. She like he stayed away. Like she was like we there was the whole distancing, so that probably helped out with that, why she didn't get sick, but she did end up taking a test and everything. But yeah, it's the things that you're so used to doing, and it's like during that time I was like, oh yeah, I'll go during my kid free weeks, because they would go see their dad still. So during my kid free weekends, I'd be like, oh, I could go. Oh wait, no, I can't go. And I go, oh wait, I could go. Oh wait, I can't go. I have to stay here. It's virtual happy hour with everybody. It's virtual. Let me see what you're doing with everybody, and it's still very much that way. Like my girls' birthdays are in the wintertime, and I guess I could have them people do a parade, and leave the presents, like put a little table outside, and if you want to leave the girls something, you can leave it on the table, because there's going to be any parties during the wintertime, as far as I'm concerned. There will be just us doing our little parties, and it sucks. It sucks big time. This is such a depressing time, and I see people trying to make the best of it. But I like the fact that one of our neighbors put out their Halloween, not their Halloween, but their Christmas decorations already. They're like one of the only ones with the Christmas decorations outside. Most people wait till it's closer to Thanksgiving, or they wait till the Thanksgiving day. That's when we're gonna put ours up, and that's when you do your decorations. And we're gonna still do that. We're gonna still honor that tradition to where, nope, it's Thanksgiving, and this is the day that they go up. That's what I did as a kid. Um, that was just the evening that we did it. So I like people trying to create joy because the thought of it, and when you watch the news reports, um, let's see here. When you look at the news reports, it's not the best. So the state of COVID in the U.S. So yeah, again, I doctors are calling for more restrictions and caution as everything surges. And you know what? When you look at the map, the latest map, I wish I could show this. The main places it's surging, because you have to think about these other areas. Like Washington's really good. Uh, Georgia, they're not quite red. They're still in the like the orange yellow, but like Michigan, Ohio, it's like near us. You know what I'm saying? It's like near us. Louisiana, it's getting pretty, big there. But like the main states is like Michigan, Indiana, Ohio. I can't. Let me see here. Is that Illinois, Wisconsin, a little bit of Iowa? It's like, come on, Midwest. What you doing out there? Come on, it's not that important. And then like the other side of the state is like clear. It's like you almost want to move. It's like, can I go ahead and move to Oregon right now? Can I go ahead and move to Utah? It's like so clear. Alaska, of course, is like basically non-existent because you can't help but social distance out in Alaska. Hawaii, nothing. PR is yellow. California's orange. Yeah, they haven't. I mean, they're still yellow. They're still like yellow orange. It's not a they're just on the slow side. Maybe everyone's wearing their mask and carrying hand sanitizer because that's what I do. After I touch something, I hate to say it, I have my hand sanitizer in my pocket, and that's what I've done. That's what I've been doing. I wear my mask and I sanitize my hands. I touch a door handle, sanitize my hands. I pick up something when I'm done with my groceries at the grocery store, sanitize my hands before touching my face. I literally carry the sanitizer around. And it's like that's what you have to do when I get in the house. Even though I've been sanitizing, I wash them before I touch everything. I make sure I spraying down the light switches and the door handles. I don't understand how we're worst. I don't. We don't have a whole lot going on. Like most of our stuff's been shut down. But when you look at this, you look at the map of the outbreaks. Midwest is getting hit hard. New York is chilled down. Virginia's chilled down. South Carolina, Florida's chilled. Florida's even chilling down. They finally started catching a clue. Texas isn't even that bad. And you think of how big Texas is, and like you said, all the things that go on in Texas, and Michigan, Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin, which places have been like on lockdown since March and doing nothing. We're the ones like that has major spread. So I was like, don't come to Michigan, don't go to Illinois, don't go to Ohio. Well, that's gonna be a sucky holiday time. So something else. No, we can't go to Florida. People don't want, like, no one's traveling to us at all. They're like, people keep telling me, oh, I'd come and see you, but COVID. That's like their excuse for everything now. Everything is like COVID. Oh, but COVID. Oh, please go. I've already said yes. Okay, so yes, I call them ghosts sometimes because they just magically appear. They do. They just magically appear out of nowhere. So yeah, I don't even understand this. That's something else we're gonna have to talk about. Like, why is it so much higher here than other places? And and also, like, why is it so much higher in like Ohio, Missouri? It just doesn't make sense. The people are you like, what are we doing that? We need to start seeing what other states are doing. That's what I say. What's other states doing? Like, what's Nevada doing? Like, I know the casinos have been closed. Have they opened back up the casinos? Oh, I'm in saver mode. Oh, yeah. I don't know. Maybe it is the cold weather. Because to me, it does worse in cold weather. And it still didn't go away even in the warm weather. Like, even when we were really hot, it kind of, didn't do anything. You know what I'm saying? It's something that we're doing. I don't know. It's just like, do we have more infected people here than other places? Okay, so I'm going to be right back. I'm going to get a few things. Bringing back the ranch. I don't know what's going on. They didn't use it at least. So that's what I want to know. What are we doing differently? I'm gonna start seeing what some other places. As conditions worsen and winter approach, the mayors of Chicago, St. Louis, they put on restrictions. In Oregon and New Mexico, governors ordered residents to stay home, but they really don't have many cases even. Which place is facing severe outbreaks? So who's the worst? Let's say who's being hit the hardest. So well, it says Minot, North Dakota, I guess. It says the coronavirus is tearing across at the alarming. Hospitals are filled. Epidemic. But it says the Minot, North Dakota area has seen more cases per capita. So even though we look kind of bad on the map, there's other places that are worse. Texas has the most cases of any state, but we're red. Maybe we're just on red alert. Yeah, we do have a lot of unhealthy people. You have to look at the places that they're mainly talking about though. It's the places that have the most stress. Like North Dakota, I'm not sure if they are a stressed out state, but I know Michigan, we have a lot of stress. People tend to stress and worry here a lot. And uh, and it has to do with living, like you said. Um, but I guess we're just maybe on red alert. But it says that's the spread of it, that map. So it is spreading here fast. Texas has a lot of cases. And then people don't eat right. We're talking about like most people they eat like McDonald's and Burger King on a regular and on a daily. They're not doing a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables. And as people stay home and stay inside, they're not getting all the nutrients that they need to get, like vitamin D. I heard that vitamin D was kind of like one of those pivotal things in um, preventing this disease. They said that they found in most cases that a lot of people were lacking just something that it's like basic. You get that from the sun, vitamin D. Um, so right now you would have to get a pill or something for the vitamin D. Sunlight, you do need sun. You need to go outside your house. You need to do something. So yeah, so they said that they found that a lot of people were lacking in vitamin D. And that's just basics. And that's why I told people when I started telling people, no, I increased the girls' immune boosting like intake, like what we're eating. I put them back on elderberry vitamins. That was something that I really only used for my one kid during school, and it worked. She didn't get sick. I think when I first put her in school, she didn't get sick at all. And then I took her off of it. She got sick pretty regularly. So we went back onto immune boosting foods, immune boosting vitamins, green tea people. It's really time to look at what you're eating, what you're doing, and then going to sleep, which is my issue. I try to support everybody. And since I was working from home at one point, I stayed up late. Like I was just doing my own businesses. So I would stay up late and then I would be able to sleep in whenever I wanted. And now I have to kind of switch my schedule to where I have to go to sleep earlier in order to be fully rested. Like, hello, I fell asleep during the stream last night, guys. Like I said, my mind was telling me yes, but my body was telling me no. And I just wasn't listening. My body was like, no, I'm tired and you've been doing too much all night. And if that gives people joy watching me sleep, awesome. Because it looks very relaxing. It does look relaxing. So what will come up, and I have some of these and I made these pre-COVID. So one of my things that I do, and again, I'm going to pick it back up, especially since I have this outlet now and I'm doing a couple of other things, and I make my own facial scrubs, which works very nicely. I love it. So this right here, this is a little pain relief, and I use the cannabinoid. So this is non-THC, and it's for pain, but this is for mild pain. And I do have one that's 500 milligrams I've been using for my ankle, and it works very nicely. But again, it depends on your receptor. So one thing I hate when people try something and they're like, oh, it doesn't work. No, it may not just work for you, or you have to do it a different way. Like for me, and I've noticed a difference in my body since I haven't really been ingesting it. I may have a little bit left in the cabinets I have to look at. So I would ingest the cannabinoid, the non-THC, and use the topicals. And I found it very helpful. I had less inflammation in the body. I had, overall just better health. So one thing I would say, parents, so if you're not fond of THC, if you go onto Groupon, you can get some CBD, which is there's a non-THC, and that's from the other plant, the cousin of Mary J, as I like to say. And that is, because there's different strands. So we have Mary J, And then we have, um, oh, so I do Empowered CBD Detroit, and I need to, really get on this. But there's immune boosting. There's even a company that I represent through this. I need to start back. So there's the THC, which is, Mary J. And a lot of people don't understand that and understand the difference. So that's one show right there in itself that I could do, but I would need to screen share. So I wouldn't worry about me being on camera for that. So that's something that we can definitely do coming up, probably Friday, put that show out there. So a lot of people don't know, but it's not cannabis. So there's sativa and there's indica. So what I am talking about is the indica, known as hemp. So hemp can be very good, and hemp has been going around and has been legal for I don't know how long, for like ever and a day. Okay, people, people make clothes out of it because the hemp stalk's a little different. They make bracelets out of it. I've been seeing it actually sold in places where I guess it was supposed to be illegal, which is supposed to be like legal now. It's like it was never illegal because it's hemp and there's no high from it. So that's perfect for people who want to use that and be able to function during the day. So that was my thing is, I have to be able to function. I have kids, I work, I do different things. So that's what this is made with. This is hemp CBD. And so I'm gonna start giving these away because I have a few left that I made pre-COVID, and these are kind of like I don't they don't have my labels on it yet, so I still have to get with my label, get a what is it, a graphic for the company, CBD Empowered CBD Detroit. So that's what these are made with. So I'm gonna start doing a giveaway. So some of those things that I make, and I think they work, and a lot of people they even use it just in regular lotion, just as a daily. So that's, it's awesome. So there's some things that are going to be coming up on the show. Some giveaways. We got our one poll today. I'm going to do another poll, of course. And then for Tuesday, I have to see how to pose those questions. I'm not sure if I want to do it by a poll. I guess I can have a poll going on, and then the rest will be just regular questions. So that's about it. So I kind of wanted to come on and talk about those things and see how to. There was something I was supposed to do. I know there wasn't there? I felt like there was something I was supposed to do and I didn't do it. But yeah, so that's what's going on. That's what's trending. Those are the trending topics that we discussed today. And authenticity. Oh yes, I was supposed to talk about this, and I'm sure there was probably something else I was supposed to hint on. Yeah, so this has been coming up a lot, just authentic person. And I didn't realize it, but what we've been doing with our mindfulness, it's been leading to the authentic person, the authentic you. Your authentic message. And one of the things that I like to do, everyone either they want to like sound like somebody else or mimic someone else, and that's not what I do, and it's not what I teach. So if I was to, let's say, like mentor a poet, my whole thing is to get you to speak your voice, to open up that little chakra for you where you're speaking your own truth. I talk about that a lot. And that's what's been coming up. And so I kind of hinted on it earlier. I have my shows where I like to wear my strappies. So I think they look nice. They make the girls look good. I'm not gonna lie, I like it, and that show might be for a different person, and so I said we'll be sticking to and going back to some of my original format because I saw my follows go down, and there are people, hey, I'm probably one of the few on here that look like me, and there's some people that like that. Okay, so I don't think you should ever have to shy away from being your authentic person, for being you. Um, and it seems like there could be some people out there who have problems with people being their authentic persons, being their authentic selves, being happy. And then you do have to ask yourself the question of why would that make you mad? Somebody else living their truth. So one thing is, how can we continue to live our truth in COVID land, in a COVID society? How can we continue to speak our voices, be seen, be heard? This is an outlet. This is the outlet that I decided to pick up to do that. I said, how can I do what I do and continue? So like the event I was supposed to have today, I'm going to push back to January because as far as what I've seen, I'm not sure if anybody else has chimed in, and I hope the person who did sign up doesn't mind, but I want to give it some more time. So we're going to push that back to January. I'm going to check it today. Oh, I have 2. So maybe not. Oh no, there's 2 now. Let me see. It says 2 going. No, only 1 purchase still. So no. So right now we're going to push that back to January. So we only have one who actually purchased. So I'm going to send that message out. This event will get pushed back to January. I'm going to do this event at the end of January. I'm going to drop a message in there and try to get some more of that going, give it a little bit longer. So I think people will be more in the mindset of starting something new in January. People are going to be thinking about, oh, how can I make changes? How can I do that? And then they'll be wanting to reach out virtually more. So I'm doing a virtual mindset event, and I have to figure out. This is a link that I didn't create that I have to create so that we can. So your event is scheduled to start soon. Yeah, we're going to push this back. I'm gonna. No, you can't even purchase right now if you wanted to purchase. So I'm gonna restart that event and push that back to January. Yeah, that's not gonna be a fun event with just one person. It's nice if you have people interacting and speaking and voicing their truth and voicing their concerns and doing things. So no problem. Thank you. And thank you for the lurk. Don't forget, exclamation point lurk. So that's what we're going to end with, you know. So like this show will be for like, some people, and I forgot to put it on Facebook. And that's what this was supposed to also stream on Facebook. So I kind of forgot. So Sunday show is supposed to stream a little bit on Facebook because I'm trying to introduce my Facebook following to this platform. And I forgot to make that go. To hit that little button. So sorry to do that. And we're going to end now. But anyway, I'll post it up on Facebook and then, say, hey, follow if you want to see more. That's what we'll do. So anyway, so that's what we've been leading to. There's some people that I see on here that may not like what some people do. And I just look at it and I go, well, that's them being them. And they're happy and they're bubbly and they're making somebody else happy. And they're making somebody else, have a way of reaching out. And what's wrong with that? Especially during this time that we're going through right now where you can't just go to a bar and sit and talk to somebody. You can't gather with your big group of friends like you used to be able to gather with for Thanksgiving and whatnot. So I might just stream Thanksgiving Day at the house. I might just set up the laptop somewhere or set up my tablet where you can see us. And, it'll probably be couch view. Or then I'll turn it over to table view because I can easily rotate it and all that will be at the same level. And hopefully I'll have my new table by then. So I just think that it's better to be authentic. It's better to be you than I would rather know that I'm watching someone real versus not watching someone real, if that makes sense. I'd rather know that, hey, they're being themselves and my battery here. So I'm about to be right back and we're going to end with a little something, guys, because I guess something's not plugged in, but that's okay. So I'm going to be right back on this note of authenticity and being authentic. And they're going to hear a little bit of jazz. I like that. I love this little thing here.